Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Everybody, welcome back to Virtual Tavern, a podcast where we talk about all things fantasy and sci-fi, or I guess I always say sci-fi and fantasy. I say sci-fi first. But welcome to our first episode of Sci-Fi Sunday, Cyberpunk, motherfucking 2077, the game.
We're finally back, folks.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Cyberpunk's back. Tell a friend.
I am very excited to finally be able to get into our coverage of this. We've talked about it for so fucking long, and here we are.
Yeah. This is very much going to be a rough edit. You know, we have experimented with the format of just us talking, you know, like normal podcasters do, but for most of our podcasts, we talk about like video content.
Yeah.
Where we could pull it up as like a reference on the side, you know, kind of use it as like a cheat sheet or a study guide as we go along. But very few times do we just have nothing and we just ramble on and talk. And so we prepared notes. We're going to try to do the best we can, but it's going to be a learning process and we'll hopefully get better as we go.
Yeah. So, you know, just have a little bit of patience with us because this is as Adam said, this is a different format and we're just going to wing it and make it work.
We're going to fake it till we make it.
Yep.
But we like to do whatever we're covering. We like to do our house cleaning shit. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. If you would like, you can always send us an email. We don't have any emails this week, but we would love to hear from you, especially since we're starting a new subject, a new content coverage.
Yeah, especially like with us doing Cyberpunk for Sci-Fi Sunday. It would be really cool if you guys happen to have any theories and things to, you know, send them. Like I'd love to fucking read what you guys felt about the game or how you felt about it. And if you have any opinions, like maybe they should have gone more in this direction or that, you know, it'd be really cool to just hear your guys' thoughts on it. So if you would like to email us, you can do so at contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com.
That's contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com. May cause chlamydia. But we would love to hear from you, especially as we go more in depth, you know, with things like romance options, with things like play styles. You know, are you a fast, speedy ninja boy that uses throwing knives and katanas, or are you more like Hunter and using quick hacks? And you know,
I'm a hack fucking head shooting motherfucker.
Yeah, the tech side of things. Well, you know, there's a lot of, with a 2.0 update, there's a lot of ways that you could play this game.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you know, I've said it on during like the Matrix when we would bring it up, or occasionally during fucking Edge Runners.
Yeah.
Initially, I fucking hated the update because it broke my build. But honestly, I'm really glad that it did, because it made me have to branch out, and I love my current playstyle.
Well, to be fair, nobody likes their favorite thing being nerfed.
Yeah.
Ask the Helldiver community when they nerfed the railgun or whatever the fuck it was, right? Yeah, nobody likes nerfs, but then it's for the betterment of the game in the long term, right? You know?
Yeah, but you know, I feel like that update added so much content. Just in terms of like replayability and things like that, because they opened up many different avenues that you can go.
Yes. So yeah, we would love to hear from you. Let us know your play styles, your romance options, different choices that you choose for side quests, because there are some side quests that have non-linearity in their endings.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many. It's not like a full-fledged RPG. Then that's something that we're gonna have to like talk about. Cyberpunk 2077 isn't, and I hate to say it, it's not a full-blown RPG like Skyrim with like player choice and, you know, branching storylines of quests. It's an action RPG with open world elements, and the sooner you accept that, the more fun you're going to have and the more like enjoyment you're going to get out of it. Because that's what a lot of people were upset with when the game first released. They were expecting like Skyrim, with
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, the theme. And what they got was, a linear experience with an open world setting.
Yeah.
But there are still some quest lines that have branching, some branching elements. There's still some, RPG elements in it, but it's not like Fallout levels of fucking.
No, it's not like if you do or say this to a certain person, at the wrong moment, that it's gonna affect things later on in the future.
Yeah.
You don't get a whole lot of those types of interactions.
Yeah. You do get to choose like your life path and everything. So let us know. That's another thing. Let us know what life path you chose. Our email is contact@virtualtavern@gmail.com. But there's a lot of things that you could choose about your character, what romance options you choose, your play style, there is freedom.
Yeah.
Don't let me get you wrong. Like you can still choose your own story and everything and build your V the way you want. And that's a great thing about this game.
Yeah. You can have a small V, big V.
You can have small V, big V. You can have all sorts of Vs. You can have no V at all.
Yeah, extendo cock.
Extendo cock. But let's go ahead and just okay. So we have our socials. Let's just plug that real quick. We have a TikTok. Our TikTok is virtual_tavern_podcast. If you like TikTok, everyone fucking likes TikTok nowadays. Go over there and follow us on there.
See, you say everyone, you have one now too.
I didn't want it. I got TikTok so I can see how our fucking podcast is doing.
He joined the masses.
I didn't want to. I fucking resisted it for the longest time, and you guys sucked me in like a fucking soul-stealing fucking ghoul. I hate you guys. But yeah, we have a TikTok. Go ahead and follow us on TikTok, where we post YouTube shorts about our podcast.
Yep.
Go subscribe to our YouTube. It's essentially the same thing. But if you had to do one, I would really like you to subscribe to our YouTube, because that's where we're going to be posting a lot of our status updates. And that's how you can stay engaged with our community as we slowly build up this community.
Yeah. Plus with, our YouTube, if the Spotify is not your thing, that's another spot that our podcast gets uploaded to. So it makes it to where you get all in one, right? You get the shorts, you get the podcast, and you get the updates.
Let's say you have YouTube Red or whatever the fuck it is, and you don't want to deal with ads, or you have Spotify Premium and you don't want to deal with ads. Like, we're on both platforms.
Yeah.
We're on a lot of platforms, actually, but those are the two main ones.
Yeah.
So if you have Spotify Premium and you don't want to deal with ads, listen to our podcast on there. If you have YouTube Red or whatever the fuck, is it YouTube Red?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, if you have YouTube Red and you don't want to deal with ads, watch our podcast on there. Support is support.
Yep. We'll take it wherever we can get it.
But normally, right now, we would do something called a talking point recap. But since this is the first episode of our Cyberpunk Edgerunners, oh my god.
Wow.
Our Cyberpunk 20... I'm so used to saying Edgerunners after I say Cyberpunk when we do this. I get it.
And you know what? You just fucking... You hurt me on the inside because we had to move on from it.
I couldn't wait for you to come and clear the cupboards. And now you've got to let me... Okay. But normally we would do a talking point recap right here. But seeing as this is the first episode, we're not going to have one right here. So wait till next episode.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? But with that, our intro out of the way and all of our plugs. See, that was painless. It wasn't that bad. Let's go ahead and talk about Cyberpunk 2077, the video game. And before we get like nitty gritty into the content of the game, let's just talk about like the hype leading towards the video game and our first impressions with the game, like video game trailers, PR and all that shit. So Hunter, what was your like first exposure to Cyberpunk 2077, the video game? Like, how were you first introduced to it?
So I feel like you might have sent me a trailer, as well as my brother and a couple other friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer looked fucking awesome. Then as soon as I saw Keanu Reeves, I was like, dude, this is gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then they did more and more advertising, showing like a little bit here, a little bit there. And when the game first dropped, I heard that they had just so many fucking issues.
Yeah.
So it made me really hesitant to play it. I didn't play it until, I think the first playthrough I did was last year.
Yes. I think I finally talked you into. I
Yeah.
begged you for fucking a long time to play this game.
Yeah, I was like, I don't fucking know, man. You know, it had so many problems, but it's fixed. Like, I don't know. And then I started playing, like, what am I missing?
It was on sale. I'm like, you're buying this fucking game.
Yeah, just go fucking buy it. And that whole set of days off, I did nothing but play Cyberpunk. But Adam, how did you come across, like, what were you introduced with it?
I can't exactly remember, but I know that I was more sucked in towards the end of its PR buildup. You know, its advertising buildup. Like around the time they added Keanu Reeves to the marketing and the advertising, that's when I started getting on the hype train.
Yeah.
This game was in development for I think like a whole decade. I think the announcement trailer was in 2011.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was in development for a long fucking time. So you can imagine, you know, people that have been waiting that long. I feel bad for those people.
I know.
But I got on the hype train like 2019, I think, the year before it was released. Somewhere around there, I got on the hype train when they were really starting to ramp up the advertising. And I bought the game on release day, fucking 2020, December. I think it was like December something. I can't remember the exact release day. I bought it on release day. So I'm an OG fucking Cyberpunk vet. I didn't get to jump in at the 2.0 update when everything was fine, you fuckers. But I did get it on PC. So that really warps my perception.
Yeah. Well, at least with, you know, you having it on PC, you were able to mod it and like do what you needed to help kind of improve it. Those that got it on console were just fucked.
They were fucked. They were stuck with that baseline experience.
Yeah.
So that really warps my perception. Like the original release of Cyberpunk, it was missing a lot of those RPG elements that were added in the 2.0 update. The police system was a nightmare. Like if you broke the law, it like instantly went to like fucking 2 or 3 stars, and you'd have cops teleport around you, and it was immersion breaking. And so I think eventually they just became so tough and invincible, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
At least in the 2.0 update, it gradually builds up, you know, they don't teleport behind you. And eventually once you hit 5 stars, max stat comes in. They're not invincible. You can beat them, but they're extremely hard, and it adds to that immersion, you know?
Yeah.
Not just cops teleporting behind you everywhere you go.
Stop!
You violated the law! But, yeah, I remember, you know, police chases not being a thing, you know, vehicle combat not being a thing.
Yeah.
The whole perk system wasn't really as in-depth or intuitive as it was now.
Yeah. Like now it's a little bit more mainline. Before it was kind of...
It was bloated.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it looked like, but I know the perk system was heavily bloated.
I mean, it, at least for intelligence, that shit was like fucking... It was a giant fucking circle. It wasn't even a tree.
And as far as I remember, there were a lot of perks that were just flat out broken and didn't work.
That might have been before I started playing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, perk system and vehicle combat wasn't a thing. What else? I think apartments came later. A lot of the apartments came later, I believe, too.
Mm. I've never purchased a different apartment. I just used the one that you start with.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what else they added in the later updates. There was vehicle combat. There was the transmog system.
Oh, yeah. You can use the fucking tram now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that too, but I mean, transmog. Like, you wear whatever you want and stats don't matter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Before your V looked horrendous because it had the highest stats. You know, a simple system that's in a lot of RPGs nowadays, you know, transmog. Like, wear what you want, but the stats don't matter, you know.
Well, I kind of lucked out with that because if I remember right, like you could have your saved outfit and it would make it to where like you could change out whatever it was that you wanted to get those stats.
Yes.
And then once that is either 2.0 or 2.1 update, they got rid of that entirely to where your armor ratings and shit just gone. Now it's just you get close to fucking buy what you want.
They did do that, huh? I know. Yeah. I was like, I feel like armor had a value, but yeah, like you said, there's like, fuck this system. Like, you get most of your armor points from cyberware anyway.
Yeah. So really the only things that still give you some kind of like a perk are like glasses or
And it's like 0.5 armor or like 1.5 sprint speed, like very tiny bonuses, you know? So you're not forced to choose like, oh, fuck, this has like way better stats, you know?
Yeah.
It's fashion souls, as the Dark Souls community calls it.
But I do really like the fact that they implemented that, at least for a little bit, while the armor and shit actually mattered on your clothing.
And the cyberware system. That whole system
that got
completely redone.
Yeah. Like before, you could just equip however much shit you wanted, and now you have to actually like try to level up certain trees. I don't remember which one it's in order to max out the amount of cyberware that you have.
Yeah. After the Edgerunners, the successful, you know, anime that was Cyberpunk Edgerunners, they wanted to tie in a gameplay mechanic to the lore that they build up with cyberpsychosis and all that shit. And that was really cool. And then as we know, the game released, we'll try to like condense this part because we could talk about this forever. The rise and fall of Cyberpunk as it released and then its comeback story. So I'll just summarize this. Like you guys already know the story probably. The game released in a horrible buggy state, you know, especially on consoles where that's what you had was what you had. You couldn't mod your way out of it. You couldn't patch your way out. Like unofficial patch your way out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Gameplay mechanics that you desperately wanted, like police chases, you're not going to get that, you know?
Yep.
And I played on PC, and that's why my perception is kind of warped because a lot of those gameplay mechanics that I was missing, I modded in.
Yeah.
You know, police chases, hover cars,
I remember your fucking hover car.
Yeah, hover cars, you know, what was it? The train system.
Yeah.
You know, before that was added in the update. A lot of these missing features that the 2.0 update added, I modded in and I got to experience that kind of experience way earlier, you know, years before, you know, that was added in for everyone.
Yeah.
So my opinion is kind of warped. But I understand, I acknowledge Cyberpunk 2077 for what it is now and what it isn't.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, when we first bought the game, were trying to fit a square peg into a round hole and trying to force Cyberpunk to become something it wasn't. And that's partly due to the immense and unrealistically obtainable level of hype that it was creating.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red, who's the developer of the game, really shot themselves in the foot by advertising and showing Cyberpunk so much at this Herculean level of hype that they could never achieve.
Yeah.
And they advertised mechanics that weren't going to be in the game. They overpromised and under-delivered. You know, if you say that your car is going to when you're advertising for a new car, and you're saying, oh, this car will do X, Y, and Z, and it'll do all these amazing things.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the consumers buy that car and it only does maybe 30, 40% of the things you advertised.
They're going to be pissed.
Yeah. Even if it's a good car, it could still be a good car.
Yeah.
But if you advertise it for all these things that it doesn't deliver on, that thing's going to be fucking, you know, canceled on the internet. And that's what happened to Cyberpunk. But we all know the comeback story. Cyberpunk Edgerunners released, and that really did save the game.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. If Cyberpunk Edgerunners wasn't the success that it was, Cyberpunk 2077 would have ceased development.
Yep.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, they just would have been like, you know what? We're going to wash our hands of this. It's been fucking, you know, 12, 13 years we've been dealing with it now.
Yep. And we got the 2.0 update, and thankfully the game is it's a beautiful finished state as it is. The developers have even stated, we feel like after the expansion and after the slew of updates that we've created, we're walking away from this. We feel like we've created a finished product that we are happy with. And I respect that, you know?
Yeah. You know, they recognize the fact that they finally got it to where we as a community are happy, they're happy with it, so it's best to not sit there and continually fuck with it.
Yeah, it's not like, Fortnite or Call of Duty where you're having seasons after seasons. It's not a live service.
Yeah.
People got to remember what video gaming was like, pre fucking 2010 with all these live service bullshit games that go on forever.
Yeah, like it's not meant to as you said, go on forever. Like it's a campaign-based game, and I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that.
They just want endless content like drip fed to them, like Destiny 2 or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. And they just people need to be better about understanding the fact that this style of game isn't one that you can just keep fucking throwing shit at. It has an end.
Yeah. But people don't want to hear that. They want to replay everything constantly and unlock new shit and forever on the hamster wheel, grinding.
And I wonder if a big part of that kind of came from GTA with GTA Online, with how long they have 5 going. Because even now, they have GTA 6 coming out next year, and they're still spitting out fucking DLC for the online.
That was another unfair compare. Well, I don't know if it was unfair, but obviously Cyberpunk, with all the marketing and everything, heavily advertised it as almost like a futuristic GTA clone.
Yeah.
With open world elements and story making decision that rivals, RPGs like Skyrim or fucking what was it? The Mass Effect series, branching storylines, branching decisions. They advertised all this shit. It was like all these different genres of games mixed into one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's enough of talking about the backstory and all that leading up to Cyberpunk's release. Let's go ahead and talk about the actual game. So Hunter, as we talked about, when you're booting up the game, you're presented 3 choices. They're called Lifepaths. There is Nomad, there is Street Kid, and there is Corpo. Now, as we know in the city of Cyberpunk, or not the city, the genre of Cyberpunk, it's very much dystopian, futuristic society, neon lit cities and everything.
Yep.
Lots of underdogs ruled by corpo fascists that control everything. They control the media, they control the means of production. And that's where the term cyberpunk comes in from.
Yeah.
Punk being the term that was really popularized in the 80s, anti-establishment, anti-government, the fucking Mohawks, metal music and all that. But it's just that genre put forward in time.
It's not metal, man. It's punk. Okay, it's different.
But there are a lot of genres that overlap with Cyberpunk. We talked about the Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix, transhumanism. What does it mean to be human? Cyberpunk means a lot of things. But for this game, we're strictly talking about, corpo control and how, the little people get by in a corpo ruled dystopian futuristic world.
Yeah.
Big ramble, I know, but Hunter, which life path did you choose initially?
Initially, I did Street Kid.
So that was your very first experience with Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Very first experience was rolling around as a street kid. Because from what I was told is that one kind of has the most opportunity to be able to use your unique lines, because with depending on which life path you go,
yes,
in different instances you have unique dialogue options.
Yes. And that doesn't really do anything mechanics wise for the game. It just adds more I don't know, world building or headcanon that you want to do in your head.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have any functionality, gameplay, or mechanics wise, but it's for your own headcanon, like role playing,
Yeah. So, I wanted to roll around as a street kid. I wanted to be fucking Johnny.
Yeah.
So, first introduction to it was going to try to steal a car, encountering fucking Jackie, getting arrested, and he's like, so, that sucks. You want to go get some food at my mom's house?
And that's I don't want to spoil too much. We'll come back to it later on in the episode, but Jackie is a fucking amazing character in the short amount of time that we got him.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
But yeah, the street kid origin story, you start out in a bar. I think it's called El Coyote.
Yeah, it's actually Mama Wells's bar.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you start out in the El Coyote, and the bartender's like, "Oh, I'm having some problems. My debt needs to be paid."
Yeah.
And I believe the guy that he owes money to, his name is Kirk Sawyer. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, name sounds about right.
I'm going off full memory here, so if I get a name wrong, you have to work with me. But he has futuristic, like, aviator glasses on and everything, slicked back blonde hair. And basically, V is a very good friends with this bartender, or basically, as a merc in Night City, might do jobs for this guy once and twice. They're cool. They're tight.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll help you. I'll talk to this guy for you. Goes upstairs, talks to Kirk Sawyer, and the fat bodyguard sits next to you and is just eating a burger like, like, excuse me, are you eating that? Or are you eating that?
Are you gonna eat that?
But the bodyguard sits next to you in the booth, and he's like, I need to clear my debt for my friend. He's like, all right, steal this car for me. And Hunter, I don't know how many times they do this, but I wish we got to see more of it. When he passes you the magazine, it's an interactive magazine with videos for pages.
Oh, yeah.
It is so fucking cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job with, like, being able to bring everything into the future. Even, like you said, fucking magazines.
Yeah, even magazines now have their own, like, video holographic advertisements in them.
I mean, it's kind of like Harry Potter with the fucking newspapers, having the living pictures.
We keep making references to Harry Potter today. In our fucking fantasy podcast, we made at least 5 references to Harry Potter.
I'm not going to lie, it's because we did that I was like, hey, wait, that kind of reminds me of something.
But he basically says, all right, you want to clear his debt? Help me steal this car. And it's this, I don't remember the model number, but it's this high-end fucking luxury car.
Yeah, it's a, oh, fuck, I can't remember what it is. You can find a free one later on in the game that basically it's the Night City version of Batman. You can get his car.
It does look like the Batmobile, the fucking Tim Burton's Batmobile, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, no, like there's a whole fucking character built into it.
Yeah. But Kirk says, all right, steal this vehicle for me and everything. And he gives you like this hacking program. It's supposed to like jailbreak the security of the fucking car. Yep. And he gives you that. And what happens next? Doesn't Padre say, hey V, come outside, I'll give you a ride? Padre's the leader of the Valentinos.
Yeah, he's the older guy that you actually end up getting one of my favorite guns from him if you complete his storyline.
Oh, I never did that.
Yeah, so if you do all the jobs for a fixer, you get special rewards. And for him, you get the Seraph, which with repeated hits will light people on fire.
Oh, that's sick.
It's fucking cool.
I forget how it starts. You leave the building and you go out into the alley, and I think Padre's waiting there, and he says, hey V, let me give you a ride.
Yeah.
So in this version, with this life path is
that's right. Yeah, because you end up getting fucking you get jumped and shit. Like those fucking guys have you get pulled over and they're talking mad shit to Padre through the window.
Yeah, young up and comers that think they own Night City and don't respect, like, what was it? Superiority. Like Padre owns that part of the city, and these young kids think that they're hot shit.
Yep.
But yeah, Padre in this version of Night City with this life path, they're already close friends, being a street kid.
Yeah.
You can headcanon that V has done a few jobs for Padre as like a merc.
Yeah.
So Padre gives him a ride, and that's when they get stopped by the goon and everything.
Yep.
The guy with the fucking metal spikes, and the plastic skin for face,
Yep.
That's another thing that I forgot to mention. The role-playing aspect of making yourself like a Borg, the best way to describe it, like synthetic.
Yeah.
You couldn't get metal arms, and you still can't even in the 2.0 update on the console versions.
Yeah, like you can get gorilla hands, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Because I play on PC, I'm actually able to mod in like full-on cyberware arms and cyberware skin and all this other shit to make myself actually look like a fucking, cyberpunked out, roided out Borg.
Yeah.
I
wish that we would have had more capabilities with that. I mean, especially because like, you know, when you're doing your whole character creation, there's several options that, you know, most other games don't have, like literally being able to choose the size of your dick.
which has no bearing really on, because even in sexual cutscenes, you don't even get to see it.
Yeah, you don't see it ever unless you fucking run around naked.
Yeah, the only time you can see your dick is when you're in the inventory screen.
Yeah.
Which, okay, like, it's admittedly a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but why have that as an option if the only time you're going to see it is if you're scrolling around the inventory and you accidentally toggle your shorts off?
Yeah. I mean, I will say it is kind of funny to do it and, like, you know, go on a fucking preview your character and then just fucking go, what?
Yeah, it's like,
fucking...
yeah, it's like, oh, nice cock. But I forget where Padre drops you off. I think he drops you off at the parking lot where it's located, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so Padre drops you off at the location where the car is located. It's the parking lot, and V goes and uses the device, gets inside, and the whole thing gets overridden. He's about to steal it, but Jackie has his own like device and opens up the car.
Yeah.
And this is our first introduction to Jackie Wells. And Jackie, he's a softy at heart. But
Yeah.
when he wants to put on his game face, he will square the fuck up.
Oh yeah, dude. He will fuck you up if you piss him off.
Yeah, he's immediately pointing his gun at V like, "Hey, puto, get the fuck out of the car."
Yeah.
Did I stutter? And that's when NCPD shows up.
Yep.
And this is hilarious. I don't know if it still happens, but when I first played this game, obviously 2020, the glitches were still bad. When the cops were rolling in, they glitched, like the fucking police car like phased into reality and did like a fucking Tokyo drift through a column pillar and like glitched like it was glitching into the floor, you know, like Skyrim physics, like
Yeah.
it was doing that, and it ruined this whole fucking cutscene where it's supposed to be like intense, you know.
Yeah.
The cops got you, and I forget his name, but one of the deputies that says get out of the car, they put you on the ground, knows Jackie, and I think they grew up together, right?
I think so, yeah.
Good old Jackie Wells, still fucking, you know, pawning off cars and shit.
Yep.
But yeah, Jackie immediately goes, "Hey, that sucked. You want to grab some food? I'm hungry. Let's be best friends now."
Yeah. Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, full disclosure, that made me laugh. And I'm drinking aloe vera right now, and this shit has like little tiny pulp fucking things in it, and it caught a pulp chunk in my throat as I laughed. Oh my god. That hurt. Okay.
Oh,
But
fuck.
that's pretty much the end of the Street Kid origin story. And after that, it goes to the same cutscene that we all see, you know, the Jackie and V montage as they're building up their name in Night City.
Yeah.
Very awesome scene, you know, probably the best cutscene in the whole game. It's this little 2-minute segment of how V does jobs with Jackie. They're buying guns. They're, you know, doing jobs for Padre. You get to see a small little snippet of Padre as he delivers a briefcase.
Yeah.
They get in firefights. They chase down thugs in alleyways. It's an awesome scene.
Yeah. It has like fucking kind of like a Rocky kind of feel to it for me.
Like, hello, Night City.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun.
This fucking mass fucking collage of bullshit that they did together.
Yeah. And the announcer guy, who we will know later on in the game, I forget his name, but he does all the announcements for TV in Night City. He's like, hello, Night City. Oh, it's me, your man Stan here.
Yep. The fucking, like the main anchor.
Yeah. He says, the legends in Night City, you know, Morgan Blackhand, Johnny Silverhand. You know where you can find them? The graveyard. But yeah, it goes through that whole scene, and then, you know, that's where you wake up. Why don't you put on a little makeup? No, but it goes to the same mission where you go in the apartment building and everything, but we won't talk about that today. Let's backtrack a little bit, and we'll talk about the other life paths. So the one that I chose, I've done all these life paths, but for my newest playthrough that I'm doing for this podcast, I chose Corpo. Probably my least chosen life path that I've done.
Yeah.
Because I don't like corpos. You know,
Which is interesting. Like, for me, while I like the dialogue choices and stuff that you get as a street kid, I think I liked the Corpo intro more than all the others.
So you've done all these too?
I've done them all.
Okay.
Like the character I'm currently working on is a Nomad.
Oh, I really like the Nomad one.
The Nomad one was interesting, but yeah, for me the Corpo one was actually my favorite because you got to see like the inner workings, the nitty gritty of how the corporations actually run.
So the Corpo one, there's not really much to talk about, but I'll summarize it pretty quickly. The Corpo, you start off as like this dickhead mid-level executive boss. You own your own corner office and you have like 2 or 3 employees under you.
Yeah.
And you answer to this one big head honcho. I forget his name, but he calls you to his office. You're in Arasaka Tower, so you're already immersed in that world.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about this, Hunter. I really like the attention to detail that only happens in this origin story. As you're playing a Corpo, in your field of view, your HUD displays market stacks, the NASDAQ, it displays newsreels.
Oh yeah, you just see a bunch of fucking like stock market shit.
Yeah, it really puts you in that like immersive role-playing element, You're a Corpo. You have all these fucking things that tell you about the world.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish they did that for the other Lifepaths. Like, let's say Nomad, you don't have a HUD at all. What if they did that?
That'd be cool. Have it so that way, like it's again a little bit more immersive, depending on what choices you make and things like that. Because why would a Nomad have anything like that?
Yeah. Or maybe a street kid, you have to do a lot more hacking with your HUD. A little interactive mini game.
Yeah,
that would be cool. But small little detail. But I really like that. Anyway, you go to your boss's main room. He invites you. He says, "Hey," and immediately as you enter his room, he's in a meeting with a bunch of other executives from a rival company.
Yeah.
And electrocutes half of them. And it immediately tells you like, hey, this is Game of Thrones level shit.
Yeah.
A lot of political like neck cutting and backstabbing, cutthroat activity,
Yeah, it's very much so like if you don't agree with me, or if we can't come to an agreement, I should say, I'm just gonna fucking take you out and we'll replace you.
Yeah.
The problem will be gone.
And I like how when he kills them, there's a desk assistant that calls him and says, "Do you know how much that's going to cost to cover up?"
Yeah.
But she's not even mad like that she did it, that he killed those people. She's mad like, this is going to cost us a fortune to cover up.
Yeah, cool. You just created a massive fucking PR problem. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. There goes my weekend, you fuck.
Yep.
But he invites you over and tells you, I forget the name too. I'm not going to get specific on like the names and everything. I'm just going to tell you the elements of the story.
Yeah.
He tells you, I want you to take this money. It's 50K in like cold hard Euro dollars, Eddies. Which is one of the few times we actually get to see like Eddies in person.
Yeah, because every other time it's just a little fucking number that goes bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah, direct deposited in your fucking bank. But he gives you the cold hard cash, right?
Yeah.
And he says, I want you to use this to like contact a fixer or something, and I want you to eliminate one of my rivals.
Yeah.
And you do that, you take the money, and I don't think it deposits in your bank, but you see it added to your total.
Mm-hmm.
And V is already doing well. Like he already has like a 6-figure income, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he goes to the bar and it's Lizzie's bar. He's already meeting his contact there. In this world, Corpo V is already well established with Jackie somehow.
Yeah, they're already really good friends.
Yeah. If not good friends, then good accomplices, I think the friendship comes later.
Yeah.
But V is already contracting Jackie to do this job. And he says, let's meet at Lizzie's. I think it was Lizzie's bar, right? Is where they meet.
I think so. If it wasn't Lizzie's, it was Afterlife, but I want to say it was Lizzie's.
I think it was Lizzie's too. So Corpo V takes his or hers fucking futuristic hovercraft limousine to the top of Lizzie's bar. And this is one of the few instances where you actually get to cruise around in a hovercraft. It's a scripted sequence, but it's one of the very few times that you can do this.
Yeah. Really the only time that I can think of would be one of the endings for fucking Phantom Liberty. Oh no, not even it's one of the endings you get from Phantom Liberty. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Like, I forgot to. I'm backtracking way ahead, way behind. But when we were talking about, hey, our email contact virtualtavern@gmail.com, let us know what play style you chose, who you're gonna romance. Also, let us know what endings you chose.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to hear too.
Because we talked about it. Cyberpunk doesn't really have the best like role playing elements. You know, like a lot of the same paths lead to the same pond, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Telltale's The Walking Dead, where you have the illusion of choice, but pretty much all those paths and decisions lead to the same outcome.
Yeah, they're going to get bottlenecked to go in the same direction.
Something that they do exceptionally well with player choice and divergent paths is the endings of this game.
Yes.
So that's one of the things that we can actually talk about, like the nitty gritty and everything, and have a good conversation.
Yeah. So definitely, like, let us know what you guys chose as far as your endings and things, because it'd be really cool to see, like, you know, how you guys as a community have played versus the decisions that we've made.
Yes. And with Phantom Liberty, that just added even more possible endings, and I love that.
Yeah, because the cool thing too is with Phantom Liberty, like, not only does it get you an additional ending for the main story, there are 4 different endings that you can get for the DLC.
Yep.
So it's really cool that, you know, that there's so many different options that you can do.
Yep.
And it doesn't just feel like you're gonna end up doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I love the endings for Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
like that's what made the game for me. Like, I liked my time when I initially played Cyberpunk the first time. I was like, this is a fun game and everything. Once I got to the endings, man,
yeah,
whole new ballpark. Because how do I describe this? We like to joke around here a lot on the podcast, but some of the endings really strike home to me. That's all I'll say. They really resonate with me.
yeah.
But anyway, so we were talking about the Lifepaths and the Corpo. You go to Lizzie's bar, you arrive on the rooftop, and there's some guys there like, hey, you fucked up our game, and you judo chop him right in the neck. He's like, oh! He falls on the ground. You think he's dead. Oh, God. But you meet Jackie in the bar, and you talking about the mission and everything, and not 5 minutes later, some Arasaka goons come walking in.
Yeah.
And these people, I guess the word got out that there was going to be an assassination attempt.
Yep.
On this Corpo rival that was hired by you. And these people, and I'm assuming the rival you were trying to take out is higher on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to punch upwards, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. He was trying to take somebody out so that way he could essentially like take their spot.
Yeah. But because, even though they're both working for Arasaka, because someone on the higher end of the totem pole found out, they have the power and influence to basically wipe V off the map.
Yeah.
So these people show up, and because V has like Arasaka proprietary like cyberware in his head, or hers, whatever. They, them, they're easily able to like hack into V's cyberware and shut everything down.
Yeah.
So they start draining his bank account. They start taking away all the stock market fucking HUD elements and everything.
Yep.
Basically everything about his job just gone in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Even though he was following orders from his boss, because, you know, obviously his boss was trying to kill someone that was much more powerful than him.
Mm-hmm.
It cost him his job and pretty much everything that he had.
Yeah. But it's not like V could say no.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd fucking end up just like the rest of the bodies in that room.
Yep. And I think V is kind of like going through some kind of shock or something with his system.
Yeah.
And I love this. This is another moment where Jackie squares the fuck up.
Yep.
He immediately comes up out of his couch, you know, his leather love seat or whatever the fuck he's sitting on. And he's like, hey, hermano, you don't want to be pulling out that gun. Someone could get hurt in here. And he's like walking closer and closer to this guy, squaring up his chest. He's like, it'd be a shame if this got messy. And they're like, all right, we're gonna fuck off, you know, and they leave.
Yeah.
But, you know, they wanted to kill him, they wanted to kill V, but they're like, all right, fuck this Jackie here is ready to die, so we got what we wanted.
Yeah. We were at least we got the bare minimum done.
Yeah. So V is on the ground and Jackie is like, hey, or V is like, I just lost everything. No, man, this is the start of your new life. And they shake hands, pulls him up, and that's when it goes to the montage. Dun, 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 dun.
It was, for me, it's kind of reminiscent of I think it's the fucking Predator movie where Carl Weathers and fucking Arnold.
Oh, Carl Weathers, rest in peace, my guy.
I know. But the fucking you son of a bitch. Kill. So yeah, like after V loses everything. Basically Jackie just tells him, hey, just gonna come work with me.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna be a merc now too. And you get to start this brand new fucking badass life that you get to lead.
Yeah. And that's the end of the Corpo life path. The way I'm gonna play my Corpo is like someone that got burned by the system, and my immersion, my role playing is he was embedded in that lifestyle and he believed in it, but now that he's been burned by it, he kind of changes his belief, his way of thinking.
Yeah.
And realizes there's more to life and living than just money and corporal gains. And when he meets Pan Am later in my playthrough, he's going to be humbled a little bit. He's going to be a little bit more down to earth. And as the story progresses, he's going to be more connected to the Aldercados and more of a spiritual way of living.
So the way you're describing your V, it kind of makes me think of Uncle Iroh from Avatar.
I love Uncle Iroh.
Because like he was fucking part of the Fire Nation, and then just as the story went on, he became very like.
That is a good way of thinking, like a good analogy, because Iroh, we're going on a tangent. Fuck off. Iroh, like you said, when he was younger, he was that full-blown like Fire Nation Fire Nation #1. Let me kill all the Earthbenders I can see.
Yeah.
He was the one that laid siege to Bossy Say. He was ready to kill everyone,
Yep.
He was a lesser, more radical version of his brother, Ozai.
Yep.
And when he lost his son to the war, he was humbled. And that's how we got the humble, tea-drinking, wise guru that is Uncle Iroh today.
Hello, my friend.
You want some nice jasmine tea? But that's kind of how I want to play my V.
Yeah.
The last life path is kind of the shortest one and the least one that has like any significance.
Yeah.
But I do like it. It has some charm. The Nomad life path, you're basically on the outskirts of the city.
Yep.
In a little rinky-dink fuck-hut town, and you're kicked out of your clan. So I don't know how you fell out of good graces with your Nomad clan. Let's just talk about the Nomads for a second. So in this world of Cyberpunk, most of the countryside of the United States is like radioactive wasteland, right?
Shut up. Yeah, most of it's like either radioactive or just desolate and barren.
Yeah, in the rural areas.
Yeah. So these nomads, they started forming like different tribes. I guess the way that I kind of look at it is it's kind of similar to that of like what maybe like the Native Americans would have done way back in the day.
Oh.
Having all the different groups.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, like the different tribes, like very nomadic, but
Yeah.
they do sometimes interact with each other,
Exactly. And I can't remember what the term is either, but the nomad version of V, he gets kicked out, so he's just he's
excommunicado.
Yeah.
John Wick, excommunicado.
He's a wandering nomad with no allegiance to anybody.
Yes. And that's how you even see him, is he's ripping off his nomad patch on his jacket.
Yeah.
And he's at this random fuck hut town. He's got his little car that he needs fixed up and everything.
Yep.
He's trying to get to Night City to build a new life for himself, which I don't understand why. Like, you're a nomad, your whole antithesis of your being is anti-city, but whatever. All paths lead to the same pond, I guess.
Yeah, but then again, there's Pan Am too, who was also a nomad that got kicked out of her clan.
Oh, that you got me there. It's like you know that catfish meme. It's like, I'm not gay, but you impersonated a man talking to another man about gay interactions. You got me there.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? So you go to this radio tower to like try to contact your clan and say some goodbyes. And also in this universe, you're trying to contact your buyer for some contraband that you're gonna smuggle into Night City.
Yeah. You're like the fucking Han Solo of Night City. You're a smuggler.
Yeah. And I love, as much as this life path doesn't really do much for like entertainment value, it does create a lot of world building, which I love.
Yeah.
So in this life path, I think you get to learn more about the world than the other two.
Yeah.
So we know that Night City is like this place for people to like start a new life and try to like, get lucky, get rich. It's like Vegas today, right? So, and the rest of the country is like this nuclear wasteland. Most of it is, right? You have the NUSA, which is like trying to recreate the United States of America.
Yep.
Hence the name New United States of America. And then you have a bunch of like free states on the East Coast, like California and shit, and Night City.
Yeah.
I could be butchering the lore and everything, but
one of my friends actually sent me as a map showing all the different groups and things.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Oh, Nick.
I'll talk while you're looking for it. So I think the photo you're going to show is like NUSA is on the East Coast, and then on the West Coast you have like a bunch of different city states.
Yeah. So on the East Coast, like east to the midsection of the country is the NUSA, and then you have the Republic of Texas.
Yeah.
And then they just call them the Western states. It would be like Utah and places around there.
Yeah.
Then there's the Pacific. The hell does that say? The Pacific Confederation. That's going to be Idaho, Washington, Oregon.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are just free states. And Night City is on the very edge of California.
Yeah. Can you show that photo actually, real quick?
I can certainly try.
Or do you not want to show your browsing history?
Let me see if I can get it to flip. So it's gonna be a little hard for you guys to see, but oh god damn it. It fucking did that to me earlier too.
If not, I'll just search a PNG image and I'll throw it in here post edit.
That might be the easiest
I'll
thing
just
to
do that. Here's the fucking map, editor Adam. Yeah. But Phantom Liberty, the DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, goes more into detail of the history of, Cyberpunk, the world.
Yeah.
The world state. If I remember right, the NUSA, the United States split, right, into different factions. It was like a second civil war, right?
Yeah.
The NUSA conquered, the Texas people and like the California Republic, and now it's just a bunch of city states on the western seaboard.
Yeah.
But the NUSA can't like conquer the whole United States because it's just too much ground to cover, and they're not that powerful yet.
Yeah.
So they won the war a while ago, but they just haven't been able to like conquer the rest of the nation yet.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they're having to go against fucking Texas.
Yeah. And Phantom Liberty goes way into detail with that. Like that's the whole story of Phantom Liberty is this warlord that was supposed to be fighting for a faction just takes place and roots up in Night City.
Yeah. And the lore that we got from it was really fucking cool because it kind of helped give you more of an understanding as to the state of the country and things like that. I mean, you get to interact with the fucking president of the NUSA.
I know. I know we're jumping way far ahead, but it's relevant. But I think we'll close out this. We'll just the Nomad intro. You meet Jackie Wells, right? He was your contact. And the thing that you're smuggling, we'll learn later on, is a fucking iguana.
Yeah. And there's kind of a theory that the guy that you have to break into his apartment to try to get the biochip, that iguana went to him because he has an iguana.
Yeah. I never really noticed that, but when you told me that, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And it also makes it to where if you guys do that mission and don't leave his apartment, fucking I will say the one thing that this game does is it kind of like pushes you to just try to follow the main storyline. If you will root around when you get in there, you can get an iguana egg and then bring it back to your apartment, and it will eventually hatch. Mine hasn't yet. It pisses me off.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments like that in Cyberpunk where you're so heavily like hinted at and kind of what's the word, like funneled into a certain way of playing, like go this direction, do this. But if you just go off the beaten path a little bit, if you just dick around a little bit, there are Easter eggs around that you'll be rewarded with, like that, or the cat, or when you have to save Takamura during the fucking carnival and everything. Like that's not explicitly told to you. That is like a quest marker saying go save Takamura. You have to like deliberately go out of your way to save him. But yeah, you have to go through customs to get into Night City. There's border patrol and everything. And you have to like bribe the guy to get through customs. And he takes the bribe, but he rats you out. And you have this cool like chase scene where you're gunning down the robots and the drones. You pull into a little storage unit to evade the cops. And that's when you pop the trunk. There's an iguana there. And that's when Jackie and you are like, all right, guess we're best friends now. Go put her there. Bam. And then it goes to the...
Are we going to be partners now? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, and then it goes straight to the montage. Dun, 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 dun. I know we didn't talk about the Nomad one a lot, but there's really not a lot that happens in that one.
Yeah, and it's like you said, you know, you pretty much just roll up to where you need to fucking drop this shit off or you know, go talk to the fucking border patrol and that's it.
I will say the Nomad one, while it's kind of like my least favorite, it is for me personally the most immersive one and like the most world building one. So it really brings you into this world and explains things a little bit more, you know, whereas Street Kids, it's very ground level. You're already in Night City. And
Corpo, like you get to see some aspects to it, but it's not like it's having to build it from the ground up because again, you're in the thick of it. Sorry, yes.
God damn it. But I think we will close this episode out and just talk about Hunter. Let's just talk about Playstyles and close out this episode. So, as we said in the beginning of this episode, we've played this game before, but for the podcast, we're doing a whole new playthrough. So I'll start off. When I played this game for the first time and subsequent playthroughs after that, I did the same playstyle. I did Sandevistan, katanas, and throwing knives and pistols for sidearms. And it was a really fun playstyle, especially after the 2.0 update and the Sandevistan changes and all that shit. Really fun playstyle. But this time around, I'm going a male V. I usually play a female V, but I'm playing a male V this time around. And I'm going to go the full body playstyle, you know, Warhammers, you know, gorilla arms, smashing people, ripping people in half.
Throwing Juggernaut.
Yeah. You can pick up people and throw them and they'll disintegrate into small body parts. I'm going to play that playstyle, just the Juggernaut playstyle this time around with assault rifles, LMGs, shotguns, you know, fucking the cyberware that like, I think it's called Rage or I forget. It's not Sandevistan. It's called something else. It's like a rage power ability that you can use. To become super tanky and do a lot of damage.
It's called steroids.
Yeah.
What of it?
But that's how I'm going to play my V this time around. Hunter, talk about your experiences.
So when this game first came out, I was very techie. I got to a point where I could literally get through waves of enemies without having to fire a single shot. You know, I'd hack, and back then that's when like short circuit would do, once you got it upgraded with the right decks and things, it would do a massive amount of damage. Like it would do like 6,000 damage. So I was just fucking taking everybody out like that, and with every kill I got shit back, so I literally never had to shoot. Like RAM became my ammo. But when they revamped everything and hacking obviously got nerfed because, you know, it was a little overpowered to say the least. I started doing more pistol implemented things because I had to get something to be able to fucking fight back with, right? And honestly, as I've played, like I still hack, but I mainly use my pistols now.
Yeah.
So
it's to complement your weapons.
Yeah. So going forward with the playthrough that I'm going to start for the podcast, I think I'm going to keep the same style because I fucking love it.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I just played katanas and throwing knives and pistols so much. I really want to try something new because the update 2.0 gave us so much to play with.
Yeah.
You know. And in the quick hacking, I get why people like that. It's just not for me. But the next best thing is like I want to try the body, you know, that whole skill tree and everything.
Well, that, and you know, with me being old school Resident Evil fan, like my brain, if I'm shooting at someone, it says hit him in the head. So with using pistols and stuff, it allows me to be able to get those criticals fucking instant.
Yeah.
And like your cool factor and stuff also helps increase that. So for me, it's what makes sense.
So now that you don't use your cybernetics as much, could you say that you dodge ram?
I fucking hate you. Oh, for the love of God, please, someone send us an email with a roast.
He can't do that. Someone shoot her or something. Fucking Nuke Gunray from episode 2. Anyway, that basically covers what we wanted to showcase this episode. We're just talking about the broad, you know, element of cyberpunk, the genre of cyberpunk, gave a little bit of a history backstory to Cyberpunk 2077, the game.
Yep.
Talked about our first impressions, our past experiences with it. We talked about the different life paths, which one we're going with this time around. The play styles that we're going to be doing this time around as well. I think we briefly talked about romance options that we're going to be pursuing. I'm going to be doing Pan Am because I'm a male V this time. I'm assuming you're male V and you're going to do Pan Am again.
Yeah, I am going to do her again.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, so I have, you know, the playthrough that I'm currently going through right now as a Nomad. And he's a V, or he's a V. No shit.
He has a V.
I'm V. It's a male character, and I'm going to have him get with both Pan Am and Carrie.
Oh,
I haven't done Carrie's yet.
That's interesting. Maybe I should try Carrie too.
I mean, I've done his quest line, but did you ever finish his?
I finished his quest line. I just didn't romance him because I was a girl.
Did you at least like try to make a move?
He made a move on me.
So he does it first when you get to the boat, when you're smashing up shit. I know we're really far ahead. Let me cook. It's when you're on the boat, like burning down his fucking rival shit and all that. There's an option to try to kiss him to initiate the romance scene.
Yeah.
And you start moving towards him like, V, no. It's so fucking awkward, like, dude.
No. He's like, bad V.
Bad. Dude, I remember when I was playing through it the first time and I got to the romance section with fucking River and I saw like, kiss. No. But
I don't think there's anything else left to cover. Since this is our first episode, let me just tell you how we're going to structure this. So obviously we covered Lifepaths and everything, but right now it's basically the preface to the game, right?
Yeah.
Next episode, we're going to go straight into just the main storyline missions. We're going to be going into, you know, the apartment raid where you track down Sandra Dorset, you know, that whole prologue episode. Still kind of like the prologue. You haven't really been introduced to the open world yet.
Yeah.
The way we're going to do this podcast, and it's still subject to change, but we're just going to cover the mainline story missions first up until we get to the point of no return. And that's where we're going to kind of branch out and like clean house of things that we haven't explored yet, you know, and we'll toss in romance options as they come naturally to the story.
Yeah.
So when we're naturally introduced to Pan Am, we'll talk about her and talk about her romance, you know, and once we get to that point of no return, that's when we'll branch out and talk about things that really interest us. And then we'll kind of come back full circle. And then we'll probably talk about the endings of the base game. And then I think we'll just go into Phantom Liberty as its own thing. That'll be easier.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk about the main storyline missions. We'll talk about some side quest. We're not going to talk about every single fucking side quest.
No. Because, like, there's a lot, and realistically, oh, Jesus Christ. A lot of them are very similar, right? Like, it's for doing the jobs for the fixers, you're either going to go and you're going to kill somebody, you're going to steal something, or you're going to fucking, like, plant evidence or whatever. So, what I'm kind of thinking with the fixers is we could give, like, kind of a, I guess, kind of summarize our interactions with them, like how we felt about their characters and things like that. Just kind of help make it a little bit easier. So we can still address it, but we're not going to go into fucking detail over, you know, the 8 missions you got to do for Padre or whatever.
I think what we'll end up doing, and we could still subject it to change, but I think we'll have an entire episode dedicated strictly to the side quest that we found the most interesting in the game.
Okay.
That way we can kind of pick and choose, and we'll make a whole episode about it, and we'll just talk about it all in one go. That
sounds good to me. That'll make it a little easier.
Mm-hmm. But I think this is the good point to stop. So we're an hour in. This has been our first episode of Cyberpunk 2077, the video game for Sci-Fi Sunday. Hopefully, you know, we didn't bore you to death, and we stayed on topic as much as we can. As we said, rough draft, rough sketch of a format. We're still work in progress here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed your time here. Hunter, do you have anything else you want to share about Cyberpunk?
You know, I'm glad that we're finally to this point. We're able to branch out to the other members of our community, because, like, you know, I'm sure that not all of our Cyberpunk people are wanting just strictly Lord of the Rings and vice versa. So it feels good to be diverse again.
Yes.
And since we have everything up and going, you know, we're going to be able to maintain that for a while. Plus, that, as we've said before, you know, we are going to have random episodes here and there where we might talk about Resident Evil, because Adam finally started playing Village.
I did, yeah. I started playing Village, and I finally beat Lady Dimitrescu. Is that how you say her name? Dimitrescu? Dimitrescu. I finally killed her, so I don't know how far that is in the story, but that's where I'm at. So
she's like the first boss of like 6, I think.
Oh, so
you got a ways to go still.
19%.
The rest of them do kind of start falling a little bit faster, but
okay, it's kind of snowballs and gets momentum.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that episode will probably be another month and a half out. So Resident Evil content coming on the way. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you know, like it's gonna be structured kind of similar to this.
We'll probably do like a 3-parter or something.
Yeah. I'm not saying we're gonna go fucking balls deep like we are with fucking Cyberpunk. I mean, we could, but I don't think it would flow as well. Because you don't have like the different stories to talk about and things like that.
Yeah. Well, this has been our first episode of Cyberpunk 2077, the video game. Catch us next Sci-Fi Sunday, where we'll be really digging deep into the lore and the first few missions of Night City. Until then, we will catch you guys on the next one. My name is Adam Edgar.
I'm Hunter Chambliss.
And we will catch you guys on the flip side. Ciao.
Bye!
I don't know. A happier ending for everyone involved.
Here, for folks like us, wrong city, wrong people.
A thing of beauty, I know, will never fade away. What should it to me? I know. Said what you had to say, but a thing of beauty.
Goodbye, V. And never stop fighting.